to our Valentine's special edition with me, Dr. Blessing Ntamu, on the Psychologist NGTV. Today I'm going to share with you 6 fun facts about romantic love. I'm sure you know there are different types of love, so we are going to be sharing 6 fun facts about romantic love. Yes, Valentine is on the way, and I thought it necessary to do this, especially because around me is all hustle and bustle about Valentine. You know, students have just come back on campus, and I thought they'll be more focused on going back to their studies, but the question or the talk on everyone's lips is Valentine. So I decided to share my thoughts about Valentine. I'm sure that some of us know about the origin of February 14th celebration, Valentine's Day. Now, there are several tales, but one of them says that St Valentine was a Catholic priest who had, against the law of the day, wedded couples who were in love and prevented them from going to war, prevented the men from going to war, and for that reason he was martyred. Now, another tale says St. Valentine was a Catholic priest who was martyred, but they said he was jailed. Whilst in jail, he had healed his jailer's daughter of blindness, and prior to his death, he left her a love note, and that note was addressed to my Valentine. So these are the stories that trail the celebration of February 14th as Valentine's Day, recognized by the Catholic Church as a day of love. However, none of these stories is synonymous with sexual immorality and indiscriminate sex that trails the whole Valentine celebration of today. I think it's a food for thought for us. I think Valentine's Day should be a day to show love. Love not just to one particular person, a romantic partner, but love to all of mankind. God is love, and the Bible tells us to show love. So it's a day to show love, especially to the downtrodden, especially to the poor. That will make a whole lot of sense, much more sense than, you know, the craze about I want to get a date, what I'm going to wear for the date. Have you gotten the red dress yet? Have you gotten the flowers? Have you gotten the wig? A lot of deception comes with this kind of madness about Valentine, and suffice me to say that I think that this whole Valentine, what will I call it now, vibe is being sold to us by people who want to make money off us. Okay, so they tell you have to be in a red dress, you have to share flowers, blah 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 blah, and whilst you are running helter-skelter trying to get money to buy this, someone is making money out of your discomfort and stress. I think it's okay to wear any color of dress you want on Valentine's Day. Even if you want to go on a date, it's okay to be in any beautiful dress. It doesn't have to be red. I actually do think that the color red was chosen as the symbol for love based on the most magnificent love story that was ever told. No, not the story of Romeo and Juliet, but the story of Jesus Christ, who loved us so much that he shed his blood to pay for our sins and to make way or pave way for us to eternal life. Yeah, I believe that that's the whole idea about red for love, for the blood that was shed on the cross of Calvary. I don't know what you believe, but I think I'm entitled to my belief. Forgive me if it's different from yours, but that's what I believe, and that belief, it's one that actually guides my activities. If you do not share that belief, well, too bad. But if you do, then it should be demonstrated in your activities, including your Valentine's Day's activities. Think about that. To also sleep in your hostel room or your bedroom if you're a lady and you don't have a date, and make use of that time to do something useful and beneficial. It's not a must to go on a date on Valentine's Day. You know, it's more or less like any other day, except to make it useful and positively so. And for the males, sex is not the idea behind Valentine. For the women, I think you should be careful. Don't go putting your health in danger, having indiscriminate sex because you want to buy certain kinds of clothes, because you just want to have a date. Don't go out with strangers because you never know, you know, how it will turn out. Okay, you have to be careful out there this Valentine, and most importantly, guard your soul. Maybe guard your spirit. Don't sin against God because you want to celebrate Valentine. Now to the fun facts about love. I said I was going to share 6 fun facts. Now, everything about love, the heart represents love, and the color red represents love. And people tend to believe that you fall in love with your heart. Now, the first fun fact about love is that you actually do not fall in love with your heart, but you fall in love with your head. So the part of our bodies that control emotion, the emotional center of our bodies, actually the hypothalamus and other structures. Okay, this structure is located in the brain, okay? The limbic system of the brain, the hypothalamus, and then we have the amygdala, we have the hippocampus. These are the emotional centers of the brain. Okay, so the heart is not the organ that makes you fall in love. That's the first fun fact about love. You fall in love with your brains, with your head, not with your heart. Now, the second fun fact about love is that in spite of the fact that you fall in love with your head, the heart is actually involved, because you experience your heartbeats increasing when you see someone you love. Yes, this is also true because falling in love leads to the release of certain hormones and certain neurotransmitters that can make you have increased heartbeats and can have butterflies in your stomach. So the feeling of butterflies in your stomach is real. So falling in love when you see someone you are in love with, or the thought about that person, leads to the release of dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter that's responsible for our experience of pleasure. That's why the feeling of love is so pleasurable. It also leads to the release of other hormones like adrenaline and norepinephrine. These are the hormones that actually make you experience the racing heartbeat and the butterflies in your stomach. So yes, your heart is involved in all of the falling in love thing. Now, the third thing about falling in love is that when they say love is blind, there's actually some truth to this. This is because these hormones like dopamine and other hormones that are released, make us to not to think straight. Okay, so you idealize the person you fall in love with, and you begin to see the person as what you want to see, not what the person really is. So reason is put aside because of all of the hormone action in your body. So when you fall in love, it is better that you listen to the opinion of other people about the object of your love, because you may not see the flaws that are there. You may not see what you need to see, and you may make bad judgments and bad choices. That's why it's better not to do anything in a hurry. Fall in love slowly. I think that will serve you right, because eventually the first phase of love, which is the lust phase, which is the phase of attraction and all of that, where you have all this hormone action, will pass away eventually. Now to the next fun fact about love. Now, the theory of heartbreak is not just fiction, but there's also some fact to it. So there's actually a syndrome known as the broken heart syndrome. Now, experience of deep emotional distress can cause the brain to release chemicals that are known to significantly weaken the heart, leading to heart pains and shortness of breath. Yes, so when you say my heart is broken and you feel pains in your heart, that's not fiction, it's actually real. That is why we must think twice before we begin to play with people's emotions. If you don't really like people, don't go pretending to like them, or don't make them fall in love with you and then leave them heartbroken, because it will actually affect their health, okay, to cause them some significant pain in the heart. And also for spouses, ensure that you're faithful to your spouse. Ensure that you are mindful of your spouse, because when you break your heart, when you cause them emotional distress, you can actually cause them heart pains that is very similar and is often mistaken for heart attack. And they say this kind of broken heart syndrome is more common in women. Hey man, be careful with your women out there. Now the next fun fact about love. Now, the presence of a significant loved one can reduce our experience of pain, can actually increase patients' tendency to recover when they have a significant loved one around. And even gazing at the picture of a loved one can significantly reduce the feeling of pain. Why is it so? This is because these actions lead to the release of oxytocin that stimulates the release of dopamine that makes us to feel pleasure and reduce the feeling of pain. So when a loved one is present, when we are sick, it helps us recover faster. So lovers, When your loved one is sick, try to be around more for them. That will help them recover quickly. Another fun fact about love I want to share with you is that people who are in love uh, are similar to people who suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder because they have increased levels of dopamine and reduced level of the neurotransmitter serotonin, just like people who suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder. Yes, so people who are in love tend to have similarities with people who suffer from obsessive compulsive disorder. That's why some of our actions might be irrational when we are in love. We tend to be preoccupied with the person that we are in love with. And remember, love can really be blind because we tend not to see the negative side of the person we are in love with, especially at the initial stage of love. Yes, there are several stages of love. We'll focus on 3 stages. So you have the stage of lust, that slides into attraction. And at that stage, that's when love is really blind because there's a lot of hormone play. Eventually, we get into the stage of disillusionment when we begin to come to terms with who the person we are in love with is. As the hormone action reduces, we begin to see the person in his true colors. There's sometimes disappointment. Then we come to terms with who this person really is. And then there's a stage of commitment. So if we decide that we want to continue with this love, in spite of who the person is, we get into a committed relationship. And that is where unconditional love comes in, because I know this person, no matter who this person is, I want to stay committed to this relationship. And it is required that you're committed to a relationship. If you can't be committed, stay out. I have a problem with people who come and say one thing and do the other thing, especially those who go to the altar and make vows before God and then break all of these vows. Now, but there's one important thing I want us to note, that when you get committed, to be in a relationship with someone, it's a decision, and it takes hard work to keep the fire burning in your relationship. It takes hard work to keep the flame on in the relationship, because after the first 1 year at the most, the stage of lust and attraction, will fizzle out, and then you see everyone in their true colors. But when you are committed to the relationship, you consciously try to stay in love, to stay committed to each other, to ensure that the relationship works. Yes. So that's so much for today. Please remember, stay out of indiscriminate sex, because everything is out there. There are a lot of sexually transmitted infections running out there. So be careful. Don't do anything impulsively or in a hurry. Valentine is just one day. It will come and go. If you're not careful, after Valentine, you'll be left with regrets. So ensure that you do the right thing so you're not left in regrets. Remember, like I said, the sexually transmitted infections, there's a risk of unwanted pregnancy, and above all, indiscriminate sex, adultery, fornication is sin. And try not to sin against God just because there's one day that they've sold to us that must be celebrated in a particular way. Stop believing the hype about Valentine's Day. It's a good day to celebrate. Love is a good thing to celebrate, but there's no particular way it must be celebrated. Celebrate love how you can. And love is pure because God is love. So ensure that however you celebrate love, there's purity to your love. Have yourself a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time on this Psychologist NG TV.